Hey, thanks for tuning in. This is Ricer Rescue. We rescue ricers. We're about to go to a torque converter. It's 8:14 p.m. It's gonna take us about an hour, 15 hour, 20 to get there.
Hell yeah, man.
Fucking cheeseburger time. Woo-hoo! Just this last weekend, there was a murder convict who escaped from the police bus or whatever, right here at this very McDonald's. So we're gonna go investigate inside, see if we can find any criminals.
Okay. Investigation is commencing.
So if you can't read, let me fill you in. The title said we're gonna go do a torque converter swap on a 1999 BMW Z3. Which should be easy because Darion and I both work for BMW.
There it is.
We already know there's a problem with the torque converter. That's why we're frickin' here. But we didn't know that there weren't gonna be any working headlights or interior lights. So we gotta figure this shit out. Now, what does it mean when we say that there's a problem with the torque converter? Well, when the car is in drive, let's say you're driving it, right? And you're at the stop sign, right? Car's turned on, right? And you hit the gas, right? And nothing happens. You have to get it up to about 2,500, 2,000 RPMs, right around there before it starts to scoot. And that's what you need. We think it's a torque converter, so we're gonna go for it. So who are these Ricer Rescue dickheads? Well, we're the kind of people who think about doing engine swaps and then we go and fucking do them. Even if it's 3 in the morning. So when someone calls us and says, fix my torque converter, and the only time that we can do it within the next 7 days is like 9 p.m. on a Tuesday, well, we're gonna fucking do it. And look at this, all parts provided. No nuts, no bolts, no nothing, baby. So what if something breaks? Well, we gotta go to Walmart and hope we can find some way to fix it. Cause it's already 10:30. Yeah, everywhere's fucking closed.
It's freezing in here. It's only 40 degrees outside.
Did you hear that? It's 40 fucking degrees. It's like we're working in a goddamn refrigerator. Cause this is a non-insulated tin box.
We're gonna have to take all the transmission cooler lines off here, if we can even get those off.
There it is. It's up on the lift, and we have visually assessed the situation. We have to take the exhaust off, and then from there we're gonna see what else we have to take off. We're gonna approach it like that. Did I mention that we don't have any instructions for this, and we're doing it by eye? Now let me tell you what we're gonna do, because I'm tired in this video, and you can tell. We're gonna take off the exhaust, then we're gonna take off the heat shield, disconnect the drive shaft, then we're gonna disconnect the transmission cooler lines, take off the subframe brace up front, and then we can start taking out the bolts from the engine that connect to the transmission. Fuck! Fucking broken bolt! Got this heat shield pulled off. We're waiting on these to grease up because one of these snapped. I like to think that we're a very inclusive bunch, the two of us, because we don't hold any prejudice against this car for not being Japanese. It's still rice. They've sat for about 20 minutes now. These little, yep. Did you hear him? See if we break another one? Yeah, right. Fuck! Fuck! It's 11:42 p.m. and we have successfully
snapped all 4 exhaust studs.
Fucking decimated them. Rear exhaust hanger.
How many 13? Bitch!
Where is it? There it is. Just imagine this scene, getting tools, but 80 more times.
You mother bitch. You come off for daddy, okay?
For what it's worth, we both woke up at 6 a.m. for our day jobs. All right, so we got the hangers off. 1, 2, fuck your shoe. And it's being held up by a belt. So now we're gonna try and break these fuckers loose right here so we can actually lower the exhaust, and then magic will happen. We're convinced at this point that the last person to take off that exhaust was Jesus Christ himself, because there was 2,000 years of bullshit on those nuts. And this is what happens. You know, it's getting close to 12 o'clock now, and we're still on step one, remove the exhaust, because we spent so much time hoping in vain that the penetrating oil would do us a favor, but no. We still snapped all 4 fucking bolts, and now we're just gonna move forward and figure it out later. So coming up in a second, we're gonna address those studs. From the broken bolts, yeah, those dirty bastards. So we're gonna get our hammer, here we go. Getting Russian. Look how easy this is.
Fuck. Okay.
Those bitches aren't coming out.
Okay, bitches.
Hey, boo-boo. What you say? Hey, boo-boo. Don't do drugs, kids.
Don't do drugs, kids.
At this point, you know we're just waiting for these bitches to snap too. But lucky us, the exhaust studs were the only fuckers to go wrong in the whole thing.
With the rear of the transmission fall down a little bit, unplug a lot of connectors and shit that are on top. Disconnect the cooler lines, unbolt it from there, off it comes.
Did you see that? It almost fell and killed Darion.
Mother bitch! Bitch!
You know where my 10 is? Where it always is. It's in the back of my fucking 830. You know where the 830 is? Not here. Look at this heavy duty blow dryer we found. So what's going on over here in fuck around land?
Well, these are the transmission connectors, I think. You know, so that's off. The O2 sensors, their wiring's off. So, all we gotta do is pull these here bolts out the transmission, and then if that's what it's called, I don't fucking know. And then it slides out, and then we take the torque converter off.
Oh, look! Oh! Look! Darion is saying that you can see under its skirt from here. So, take a look. Where is it? Where the fuck is it? Look at that. Oh boy.
Oh boy.
Oh boy.
Oh boy.
Come on. Grab onto it. That ain't that. Too small. This part requires the longest transmission extension. Certainly longer than an average man's penis. Much longer than that.
You don't have no brain, motherfucker.
This is easily the hardest part. Reaching over the transmission, no joke. Yeah, it's the hardest part unless you're fucking Rice or Rescue, because the transmission jack isn't working. So we just plop the car right on top of that bitch. I swear if I gotta deal with this again, I'm just gonna use a fucking picnic table. And we should just stand right under it while we lift it up and down. That's real safe. We better not fuck up. We'll be right back after this commercial break, brought to you by motherfucking nature. It's 39 degrees. It's fucking Texas. So we're about halfway done.
Just take into account too that whenever we do this work, we're doing it with just hand tools. We don't have like impacts or.
It's all about that wrist action, baby.
Yep.
Yeah.
2 or 3 bolts out of the torque converter. You got one last to go. Man, it's fucking heavy.
Think that'll make it work?
Fuck yeah, it will.
Yeah, and what do you know, man? Like, it worked. Just, you know, life doesn't work. Just whack a bitch with a hammer.
problem with this car was that whenever you come to a stop, you'd have to rev the shit out of it to get it to go anywhere. But whenever you're cruising, it's fine.
So the primary difference between these two torque converters is that this one is not made of shit.
Since the transmission has pissed out all of its ATF, we need to hit the road, go into Walmart, baby, because like I said, they're the only fucking store that's still open at 4 in the morning.
We took a power nap. We napped a little bit longer than we meant to. It's about 10:17 a.m. But the good news is the torque converter is on. The bolts are torqued down. Fucking done.
Yeah, you wish you were done. You still got hours to go.
If we can get this off, that way this isn't in the way, we can move the transmission as far up and
I
down
should
as we
mention
want.
that if you're watching our videos as instructional videos, well, you're gonna have a bad time because we don't have everything that we need to do this job 100% proper. Keep in mind, the owner of the vehicle knows that. They know who we are, they know what we do, and you can do this too. In fact, a lot of you poor bastards probably already do it. You're supposed to renew these bolts.
Converters
but we
lined up.
don't.
Transmission is now feeding into the engine. It's fucking party time. Did you bring the balloons?
Correction strap is off.
Ooh, doesn't that make you want to just ejaculate all in your pants? Look at that. Transmission's connected and it's hanging on its own. I'd call that a win. All that's left is tighten these bitches down, reverse the process.
So the transmission and the starter are in.
Did you see those shit-eating grins? It's almost like these fuckers are having a good time. You don't have a good time at Rice Rescue, you just have a bad fucking day. There goes the drive shaft. It snaps into place just like plastic. You're done. No bolts required. Heat shield's already up. Look at that cross brace. Man, it's like it's easy. You bring the larger heat shield under the car and it magically snaps into place. Next followed by the exhaust. You see that? I told you we were gonna figure that shit out later. We replaced those studs with bolts from Walmart.
Now we can lower it to the ground, test fire it, and fucking let it warm up and add some transmission fluid to it.
And then go to the strip club.
Yeah.
As much as we appreciate these lifts, all this equipment, all of these tools that we get to use, man, some of this shit is so old and dangerous, I don't know why we even use it. And it's off the lift, hopefully for a long time.
It's all done.
And if you thought that was bad, look what happens when you fuck up the brake lines. Except we didn't. That'd be a load of shit though, huh? Well, look at it. It's driving away on its own. It's not having any weird burnout problems at every fucking stop. Listen to this shit. It sounds like sex. Okay, you're right. That doesn't sound like sex. That's pretty fucking docile. But anyway, here it comes, gracefully around the sweeping left-hander. And it comes to a stop because we didn't fuck up the brake lines, and that was a joke. Anyway, listen, if you liked the video, if you smiled, maybe if you laughed, why don't you share it? Maybe there's someone you know who could benefit from our services. See ya!